Have you ever struggled with feeling like you know exactly what you need to do, but not being able to do it consistently? That is exactly what Asa was struggling with. He's 45 years old, and he found himself at 309 pounds. But here's what's important to know. Asa was a personal trainer himself for 15 plus years before getting into ministry. Now he pastors a church and works in real estate. But Asa, who was a personal trainer for 15 plus years, was struggling with being consistent with his health and fitness. And he let things slip after being in the health and fitness industry, ended up getting up to 309 pounds. And as a pastor, he knew that the root was much, much deeper than just not knowing what to do, because he knew what to do with his exercises. He knew what to do with his nutrition. But he says that he was struggling with gluttony, and he needed help. He was isolated and alone and had no accountability. So that's when we worked together, and we actually helped Asa apply the word of God directly to his health, into his fitness, and to honoring his body. And in this video, he shares how he overcame gluttony and how this one thing made the difference for him, where he was finally able to lose weight consistently, even though he was struggling with that consistency after being a personal trainer for 15 plus years. So this is an inspiring one to watch. If you are struggling with anything that's relative to what Asa is struggling with, you're going to get a lot out of this video. It's going to be inspiring to you. So hope this blesses you. God bless. Enjoy the video. All right, I'm here with my friend Asa. Asa, tell the people, how much weight have you lost?
So I dropped down from 309 to 262. So whatever that math is, 47 pounds. Yeah, 47 pounds.
Awesome, dude. Yeah, just for the record, I think it's June 26th, time of this recording, and you started beginning of December, I think it was, right?
Yeah, like December 5th, something like that.
Yeah, that is awesome, man. That is awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, tell people a little bit about your background and kind of, I guess, what we first chatted about before you started the program. Where were you at? What were you struggling with? And, what did that look like?
Yeah. So background, personal trainer for about 18 years. Used to run marathons and just all types of things, sports background, football, all types of sports, but finally got to that point where I was not practicing what I preached. And then I kind of took on stopped, went into a whole different career and, definitely wasn't doing what I knew to do at that point. So it really was just, I just had to kind of make a decision that, okay, I know better than this. I need to do what I know to do. And apparently I wasn't able to do that on my own. So I ended up actually stumbling across you guys. And once I talked to you and saw kind of how y'all approach it, just with the word of God and just, with your mindset, I'm like, you know what? I guess I'll allow myself to get some help from somebody.
Right.
Oh,
Dude, that's awesome. And honestly, it takes humility, because I feel like just as men, it's so easy for us to be like, I got this. Like, I
right,
got this. And
right.
I remember when we first chatted, oh man, it was just as it's coming back to me as we continue to catch up here. I'm like, man, that was a fun conversation, honestly, where we were talking about your background and where you're at. So yeah, I guess what I'm curious about for you is just as somebody who was your personal trainer for a long time, obviously transition careers, but you had the athletic background, you had the practical knowledge background. I don't think I gave you a single workout tip on that initial call, right? Because you know how to train. Uh,
Right.
but what was it for you that, I guess, led to you being at the point where you're like, okay, you know what? I actually do need outside help with this.
It was that constant stop, start, stop, start, stop, start. I mean, it was getting consistent for 5 years, just didn't happen. So I was always starting. I was always focused on, all right, I got to get going. I got to get going. I got to get going. And I just could not get consistent. I knew how to eat right, but couldn't get consistent. I know how to work out, but couldn't get consistent. So it was really just a matter of getting back consistent. And I think a big part of it is, and maybe it is coming from a sports background where there was a time when coaches were motivating me and pushing me to do things.
Mhm.
And then I became the coach. But a lot of my motivation was wrapped into me training and working out with my clients and obviously being held accountable because of that.
Mhm.
And so it really was just and before I left the health club, I went more into the management side of things. So that accountability with clients was getting less and less as I was letting clients go. And I think it was just all of that, lack of accountability, lack of motivation, just that's how it goes sometimes. But I really just had to, all right, make up my mind that, all right, this is more important than not doing it. So let's do it. Let's go. So,
Yeah, that is really interesting. That is something I talk about a lot. I was talking to one of the guys in DK about this today, but like losing that accountability is,
mhm,
man, it's a killer, right? Like even Joey and I, just because we know this, because we see it all the time, right? We have a group chat in our like in our company team communication where it's
mhm,
literally like we have an accountability group as the coaches where it's me, Joey, it's all the employees at DK, and we keep each other accountable. We put our goals
right.
in there. We put, what we're doing in there. We say when we mess up in there. But it's so important. So yeah, what I'm curious about is you go personal training to management, lose a little bit of accountability. And it's like,
Mhm,
okay, things kind of start to slip a little bit. I know you had a big career transition totally out of the health and fitness industry,
mhm.
but what did that journey look like? You leave the health and fitness industry. What became the priorities after that?
Well, I mean, I went from working in the health club to working in the church. With that just comes, in my position now as the campus pastor, surely, but even where I started out at, was dealing with like new believers and their next steps. A lot of it is just focused on others more than self,
Mhm.
which is good, but you still need to. You ain't gonna be around long if you don't take care of yourself. Um,
Yeah.
but so, so yeah, I just think it was that family life. Just it's really I know it's no excuse because I always, in the same way that I was expecting my clients to show up after work and do what they had to do, or come to the gym before work and do what they had to do. It was truly no reason, no excuse because I mean, it's just, you just got to make time for it. But
Yeah.
I think it's just, it went from me, from it being such a convenient and easy thing when working out was built into my life, that when it wasn't built into my everyday life, now I have to actually go do something extra outside of career, outside of work to make that happen. And that I think that was the biggest deal in that. Now I come home from work and go work out versus, oh, I got 30 minutes before a client. Let me get a few sets in. Oh, I got, oh, I'm training a client on a marathon. Well, let's go run. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
so that lifestyle was built into everything I was doing. So it was a lot easier in that aspect.
Wow, that makes so much sense, man. And what's interesting is the first few it's like 2 years into starting the business, I kind of
Mhm.
ran into it wasn't like a lack of accountability. 'Cause I had accountability 'cause obviously like the clients are a form of accountability.
Right.
But dude, I don't know if it was the fact that, it's virtual for me and I was behind a screen and, people couldn't really see what I was looking like unless it was
Mm.
above the shoulders.
Right.
I started to let myself go the first, like, is it 2 years into starting the business, grabbing something here between calls and I got up to 206 pounds. I'm 5'10", and I was like, "Oh, man, like, there's, uh there's something I'm missing here," even beyond just, like, somebody being able to see me. So what I'm curious about is you go through this process where, uh, life priorities change. You're no longer in the gym. It's no longer convenient. Uh,
Mhm.
how long did that last? I know we're kind of trying to get timelines right here. You're a personal trainer for a while, but how
Mhm.
long was that time period where it was, I'm no longer in the gym and I'm starting to deprioritize my health?
So the no longer in the gym was 3 years, but the last 2 years, it was when I went from personal trainer to athletic director. So now I'm running all of the athletic parts of the gym,
Mhm.
but my job is not training. My job is management. So I'm there, but I'm there with office stuff to do. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
so even while I was still there for those first 2 years, that's where the fall off kind of began. That's when it began that I'm not teaching exercise classes. I pretty much got rid of all of my clients because I just didn't have time to, work a 40-hour a week job and train another 20, however many hours of
Mhm.
clients I had. So I got rid of all of my clients. So that started the process.
Mhm.
Um, and then once I left, that just continued it and made it just that much easier to not get back rolling, you
Mhm.
know. So
Yeah. I'm curious, once you were no longer in the gym at all, was it like an instant, all right, this just like doesn't matter anymore? Or were you kind of trying to
No,
back for it?
no. So I mean, I instantly went and got a membership at another gym.
Mhm.
So it's not like it was just this conscious I'm done type of thing. It was just you look up and no, I ain't been to the gym in a while. I'm no longer consistent. So it was just kind of um, a slow process. And then within that, because I was a runner also, within that, just not having those clients that I'm meeting at the trail before work, after work, during work. So it was just all of it, but it was a slow process because I was still doing some things, but just the consistency just started to wane is really what it was. It's like, yeah, for the average person, hey, I was in the gym more than the average bear still. Now I wasn't eating right. Um, but not in the gym on a consistent level. I go hard for 3 weeks and then, oh, you look up and I done missed 3 weeks. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? I'll go hard for a week or two, you look up, I done missed a week or two. So it was just total lack of consistency, which eventually led to the gap got bigger and bigger with that inconsistency.
Yeah, that makes so
Yeah.
much sense. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's interesting how sometimes it just creeps in, right? Sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm curious about is when you started working with us, uh, I mean, I'm sure maybe there were some things you took away just from like a workout standpoint because we always keep learning. But that stuff wasn't new to you, and I'm sure the nutrition concepts weren't very new to you, right? What were the actual valuable pieces that you took uniquely from this process that you feel like made a difference?
Um, Uniquely from this process. Well, surely I would say all of the different I'm drawing a blank on the names of them, but the different videos and everything, the whole system of videos and trainings that happens, which is really just more working on the mental side of things, just working on building yourself up in the word and identifying with who Christ really made you, and just putting a priority um, on fitness from a biblical standpoint and why we are the temple of the Holy Spirit that's supposed to be taking care of this temple. So it was really more that aspect of it that was impactful for me. The workouts are great. I mean, yeah, it's could I have put it together myself? Of course.
Mhm.
Was it good to have somebody put it together for me? Yes, that was great. You know what I mean? Because and then just the accountability part. It challenged me to stick with it. Um, it 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 just helps to have a team. It helps to have a team of people around you, rooting you on. And it's the same concept in what I do now as a pastor. I mean, we really push like groups really big at our church.
Mhm.
Get in a group so that you can be held accountable. And it's more talking about life
Yeah.
versus fitness, but it's talking about all of those things. It's talking about having somebody that can celebrate the wins with you, that when you fail, that can, help pick you back up so you can continue going. So all of those same concepts, really, I'm talking about and implementing all the time. But it's just now, I was literally had to start implementing that when it came to fitness and then continuous. So the consistency of it, having a crew of people that's paying attention to it, you talking through it with, and just those types of things. So yeah, it was good.
But yeah, that's awesome to hear because that I think that's a goal, like ultimately, right? Is like there are success principles that we apply from the word in every other area of life.
Mhm.
I'm here too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So good. Awesome, man. Cool. So yeah, here's something I'm curious about too, because what was your most recent weight? You said you're in the 260 something, right?
Yeah, and I'm not gonna give my post run weigh in because I know that was water this morning. So technically, the most recent was like I actually saw 259, but I was
Yeah.
263 before I ran 7 miles this morning.
Yeah.
So I know that was water.
I even saw it. I'm like, yeah, dude. It's so funny. Yeah, dude, that's awesome. So here's what I'm curious about because I think the last day that you were with us hands on, you were at 275. So
Right.
how's the process of continuing to maintain and continuing to progress? How have you used the tools that we've given you and applied that to yourself even after working with us hands on?
Yeah, I'm using the tools. It's just my lack of consistency is why I'm moving slower. but literally I'm doing the same things at a less consistent rate. Right. So yes, I've lost what's that, 13 pounds from when I left you guys, but the pace has totally slowed down. But I can see why the pace is slowed down because I'm tracking. I'm tracking everything. So I know exactly how much I'm working out. I know exactly how much I'm eating.
Mhm.
And I track good and bad. So I'm watching myself continue to track my inconsistency, which is good because it's easy to just like file that stuff away and act like it's not happening. But
Yeah.
it's like, oh, it's happening. Keep tracking. Because you know what I mean? There's a level of change that happened when I was, and of course you don't do it perfect, but let's call it 93% consistent, you know what I mean, versus being 75% consistent. It's the difference. And that's what I see right away. And that's what I know.
That's so interesting that you say that because in the beginning of the conversation, it was almost not noticing the inconsistency and it would be so much larger. It's like 3 weeks of inconsistency. And
Hmm.
now it is you continue to track so you're aware, hey, this is it could go faster if I'm doing this, but
Yeah.
you're staying more consistent even than you would have been without doing that,
Hmm.
which is awesome. And I think
Yeah.
I feel like it's so funny that I feel like your standards are so high. Your standards are so high because you're just a high standard guy. 13 pounds down, still 75% consistency. That's awesome, man. So
Yeah, but I know I could do so much better. But I'm looking at the bad. You know how it goes. It's like you probably played high school sports. You remember the losses more than the wins.
yeah,
The tough losses, you like really,
yeah,
and you had a lot more wins probably, but it's the losses that eat at you. So
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
There's
I
someone out
mean,
there who can't lose more than 5 pounds. Who's like, really, dude, you're pissed off. God, that's hilarious. No, that's awesome, dude. That is an accomplishment. I know we touched on that earlier too, because we were catching up. And it's like, all right, like here's what I need to improve afterwards. But man, it's still such a win. It's so awesome to see. Um, so here's something that I'm curious about too, because you're a pastor and you're mentoring people all the
mhm.
time, and you have like a very important responsibility of delivering the word to them and being an example to them. How have you seen the shift in priority for you of honoring your body and being consistent with it? How have you seen that impact that area of your life and others?
um, well, it's it just leads to more. It's easy to be more confident in what you're saying and doing when you're practicing what you preach. I mean, I was well aware that the word tells us to not be a glutton.
Mhm.
So that's always there, even when I'm telling somebody how to fix something else in their life or how to do this. It's always that thought of, yeah, but I also need to fix the area that I'm struggling in my life. So from that standpoint, of course, it helps just with that part of it and not feeling like, okay, well, practice what you preach, Asa. You know what I'm saying? So that's one area. It's very, very noticeable and I'm very, very visible. So it leads to a whole lot of conversation with a whole lot of people of like, what have you done? You've lost a whole lot of weight. Um, but it gives me that opportunity to be transparent with them and kind of tell them what I just told you is, yeah, at some point I have to practice what I know the Bible tells me to do. I'm
Wow.
like, so we all struggle in certain areas. I might be doing really well in a whole lot of areas, but if I struggle in this one, I need to be trying to fix that and not just sitting on it like it's okay when I know it's not okay. So it's been a good conversation starter. And using myself as an example of, you know, what not to do, which is when you know that a certain area of your life is not lining up with your beliefs, do something about it, you know? So, um, so it helps to be kind of that example for people that it also is possible because I mean, there's a lot of folks now, I've been telling folks at my church now for a few years, I'm retired. I'm not training you. No, I'm retired. But now the level of that question being asked has went way, 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 way up. And I have to keep telling people, I'm retired.
Yeah.
All I'm doing is being consistent. I'm eating a balanced diet. I'm working out consistently. That's what I'm doing. But I'm not a trainer anymore. I can't do it. So
Like,
But
come on, pastor. Like, I want you to preach the word to me while I do the bicep curls.
right, like I'm retired. What part of retired don't y'all? So it's all good though, but it definitely and then I'm a pretty private person, so but the fact that I'm public, they just make me have to talk about it. So I'm like, I don't really want to talk about this. Let's just ignore the fact that I lost weight. You know what I mean? But yeah, impossible. Impossible to ignore.
Even me,
My
man. Even
my
me. I'm like, dude, you got to talk about it. You got to do this.
oh boy. That's why I'm like, no, I'm good, Dave. I'm good. I'm good. It's all
Yeah, we appreciate you. Man. We appreciate you. Oh man,
yeah, I was trying to fly under the radar.
I
But yeah. So
appreciate it, man. Because yeah, dude. Like, obviously, I'm glad that you're progressing, continue to progress. But yeah, I'm like, my main goal is really like, I want people. I personally want people to notice that you lost the weight and ask
yeah.
you how'd you do it faster. Because man,
Right.
that's my thing. But yeah, man, that's fantastic. So question for you is how do you see this like leading to sustainability throughout, the rest of your life and taking care of your health?
Well, and that's the cool part about is it is something that you can do. I mean, um, it's not this fad thing that is not sustainable. It's literally it's literally you can do it consistently and you don't have to be miserable while trying to be fit.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So that's the good part about it is it's not this restrictive lifestyle that you can't be free to live. You know what I'm saying? It's literally just being consistent, being balanced, um, and staying with it, basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and yeah. So it's a good thing. It's very easy to do forever. And it's very easy to even if you do fall off, even if I did fall off, I have a great example to look at what I did before. So it's always that, well, you know exactly what to do it. So just do it, type of thing. But we just not gonna fall off. But that's the good part about it though. I like that it's very, very doable for life because that's what it has to be. And I mean, of course, I've told many people that over the course of a long time, like,
Mm.
yeah, that's great that you're never gonna eat carbs again, but you're gonna eat carbs again. So you can't live like that. You know what I mean? Um, so just that's what I like about it is that it's not trying to do something that we know is not going to work long term. It's literally changing your mentality, the way you think, the way you process things, using a word to do it. But it's also not asking you to do something that's unreasonable and not doable. It's asking you to do something that just takes a little discipline and consistency, and you can live and do this and be just fine. So yeah,
Man, God gave us taste buds. He gave it.
right.
Right.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
So
So here's something I think you have some unique authority in, because there's a lot of people who know what to do with workouts and nutrition and all those things. And there's a
mhm,
lot of people too who know, right, that not being gluttonous, that honor about it, they know that's in there.
mhm.
But they're struggling to implement, they're struggling to be consistent. What would you say to the person who relates to you where they know what they need to do and they know they should do it, but they're not doing it consistently? What would you say to them to inspire them to take action?
um, start. I mean, just start. Put one foot in front of the other, and start. Don't be afraid to ask for help when you are very familiar with what to do. It's okay to allow somebody to help you along. It's okay to have a community to walk with you through whatever it may be. Because that literally, I mean, I can't believe I had somebody help me lose weight. I don't need Dave. I know exactly what you're telling me to do, Dave. But it's like, okay, get over yourself, Asa, because you haven't done it, even though you know. So maybe you do need a team of people to to walk along with, to just even reinforce the things that you know. But like I said, the whole default action system, that was great because it's just taking the word and applying it, talking through it, and just really applying it, really speaking the word over yourself,
Mhm.
allowing God to help you through that process, not trying to do it alone physically and not trying to do it alone spiritually. You know what I mean? So on both parts. And you know, the funny part is I come from a ministry that's, yes, we 100% believe in prayer, but we also will recommend you go get some therapy. You know what I mean? We gonna pray for you and you can go get some therapy. That's okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can treat it from all different angles.
Yeah.
So yeah. So basically, yeah, being able to say, all right, I'm gonna let somebody help me, at least get me started. And man, that's worked so far. And I'm glad I did, because I just needed that kickstart. I needed that refresher to just like, all right, go back to basics and get yourself back rolling. In the end, see if we can take it from there. So that's kind of where I am.
Oh, awesome, dude. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, man, appreciate you doing this again. Appreciate you taking the time and just sharing your story with people, man. It's going to be inspiring to a lot of people. So really appreciate it.
It's all good, Gabe. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, appreciate you too.
Keep doing what y'all doing, man. Y'all doing a good thing. So, and I know y'all approach it from that angle that it's more of a ministry. It's a business, but it's a ministry for you guys, because it's good to, whether somebody's a believer or not, to be able to, those principles work, whether they know Jesus or not. The principles still work. Um,
Trojan
so,
horse for the gospel, man. It's a church.
right.
It's like you don't want to get fit, you're getting Jesus, man.
Oh, that's why I love it. Yeah, that's really good. That's great. So, yeah, man. So yeah, I appreciate that. So that's the only reason I'm on here, Gabe, because I don't do this type of thing.
It was a pendulum. It's for the
With Jesus. Oh man. So,
we really
so,
appreciate it,
good.
man. We really did, man. Thank you so much.
No problem, man. I appreciate you. But tell your team, thanks. Appreciate y'all. It's all good, man.
We'll do, man. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.